Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 32 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNola.com. The Super Bowl is here. It's in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And at this point, the weather looks like it might be good, all things considered, in the mid to upper 30s. Low chance of precipitation, though it's there. But, Lenny, even so, this is the kind of weather that the Denver Broncos are used to, and the Seattle Seahawks are kind of used to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. You've got two teams that this time of year are playing in these types of conditions when they're playing outdoors in their home stadiums, as they have for the two games leading up to the Super Bowl, although it was balmy in Denver on Championship Sunday a couple of weeks ago. It was in the 60s, but still, it's what they practice in. It's not going to be a big surprise. The one thing, if you want to spin this local for a second, the one thing that I was interested in seeing is just how things would play out. And if the weather became a factor in this game, I thought that was a nice little card for New Orleans to be able to dangle out there when the final bids for the Super Bowl went in 2018 later on here in this year. If it works out okay, are we opening the door for more outdoor cold weather possible Super Bowls? And keep in mind, New Orleans competition, Indianapolis and Minneapolis, both in dome stadiums, but still, you don't want the city to shut down either. Speaking of weather, you got to wonder if Atlanta will ever host a Super Bowl again after what happened earlier this week. So, those are the things in my mind. The weather clearly is not going to be a major factor in the football game, won't help decide a winner. But as you look ahead and you're looking at things locally, what does it mean for New Orleans? Who knows? It might impact their ability to get as many Super Bowls as they could in the future, because it could bring more cities into the rotation. Yeah,
maybe the biggest story of the week is Marshawn Lynch not speaking and then not practicing. What do you make of all of this?
Him not speaking, he hasn't done it all year. All right, he doesn't. He's not a talker, so he's not a guy that says an awful lot. There are plenty of guys who don't talk on any kind of regular basis. Maybe they're there, but they don't have much to say. Just so happens that this guy is one of the marquee guys, and you've got the national stage with all of these media there looking to get something out of him. He talked for 6 minutes and basically sent nothing on Tuesday and Wednesday.
And then, of course, not practicing. I mean, to me, that was the bigger item, and they said it was non-injury related. Go figure.
Maybe he spent too much time talking. He wore himself out, so who knows?
He's playing on Sunday. Mark my words.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he'll be there. And as far as the game itself is concerned, Denver a slight favorite. And I think with the weather going a little bit more favorable, still not ideal, but a little bit more favorable, that certainly trends toward the Broncos, although the good defense, as we have seen over the years, documented, has prevailed over the good offense, the best over the best on, 3 or 4 occasions previously.
Exactly. And, it'll be interesting to see exactly if Seattle throws a few new wrinkles in there. You got to wonder, Peyton Manning is a master at being able to, identify defenses and make changes at the line and yelling out Omaha and that sort of thing. But Seattle just lines up. They're going to play pretty much what they're going to play almost on every snap of the ball, and they are really good. How does that change things, knowing that you know what they're going to do, and they're good at it? What are you going to do to try to get by it? And if Denver has early success, what kind of adjustments does Seattle make?
Yeah, and we strongly suggest you read Rick Gailey's 2 pieces already that are X's and O's related to the game itself, breaking it down as only a coach with knowledge can do at SportsNola.com. The New Orleans Pelicans saw their win streak end at Minnesota, and they were even more shorthanded. No Anthony Davis with a dislocated finger, and he's expected to be back when they open their homestand, of course, this weekend, and it's a long homestand, so you'll see him back. The guy's been tremendous of late. The team's played encouraging basketball with all the injuries most recently, although they still are what they are, which is on the outside looking in.
Exactly, and Davis has been sensational. 30 points and 8 block shots in the game on Tuesday night at Cleveland. That hadn't been done in the NBA in 3 years. And, sat out the Wednesday night game. Ideally, he is back quickly. The other thing to watch for coming up Thursday night, the NBA All-Star reserves are announced. The guy belongs on the All-Star team, on the Western Conference team. Yeah, he's in the pool to play in the rookie-sophomore game. Would probably be the first pick or the second pick perhaps in that. but the guy belongs playing in the big game on Sunday night at New Orleans Arena 2.5 weeks from now.
I agree with you, and we'll see if he gets the pick. And if he does get the nod, it will be one of those emotional hometown picks, but one that he clearly deserves based upon the way he has played. Of course, the other big story, high school related, LHSAA convention going on, and the big ticket item on the agenda is where do we go with these football championships in 2014? Again, the thought process is there's the open possibility of 5A and 4A coming back together as one, whereas there's no shot of that happening at 3A, 2A, and 1A. And even at the top two levels, it's no sure thing, Lenny. This is a crapshoot, and just polling people, it seems to me that it's going to be close in terms of whether or not that happens at the 5A and 4A level.
You have to wonder as well, with all of the weather issues that we have had in Louisiana this week, is that going to impact not so much people getting there? I think the roads are pretty much back open everywhere here on Thursday, but schools having been closed for a couple of days, or principals feel like they have to stay back. Maybe they don't get to the convention to cast their vote, and how that potentially impacts what goes on. You hope that doesn't decide things, because you're right. I think in a couple of these cases it could be very close votes where a couple of votes one way or the other could swing this thing. And we'll certainly, by the next time we see you here on the video early next week, we'll know the answer to what we're going to be dealing with championship-wise for 2014 in football.
No doubt. It's going to be very interesting to see what transpires, and obviously, of our opinion anyway, is that 9 championships were too many. So if they vote to keep it the way it is, Lenny, at the very least, maybe they'll look at reducing the number of championships. Although I don't know if that's going to happen on the non-select side. It would have to happen on the select side.
Exactly. And, depending on how many, and it depends on who votes which way. If each class is voting their own, obviously, if, let's say 1A and 3A vote to stay separate and 2A does not, well, you can't merge those. You can't merge those two select classes together. That's not equal. But if it's, let's say it's 3A and 2A, then maybe you've got a chance of those two coming together to perhaps play one select championship in those two classes.
It will be a fun weekend. We'll talk about the Super Bowl on Monday, about the Pelicans, and about what happened at the LHSAA convention as well. Until then, for Lenny, I'm Kenny. This has been our First NBC Bank Weekend Preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 32 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank. Have a great weekend, and God bless.